Welcome to the Decentralized Opportunity Podcast. In this series, we discuss Sam Walton's 10 rules for building a successful business. Sam Walton may be the greatest small town founder in modern history. He started by building Walmart to serve rural communities and then grew it into becoming America's biggest retailer. You can watch the podcast in its entirety by clicking on the link above or in the description below the like button. We hope you enjoy and become inspired by our discussion of the 10 rules that made Sam Walton America's richest man. Rule 1. Commit to your business. Believe in it more than anybody else. I think I overcame every single one of my personal shortcomings by sheer passion I brought to my work. I don't know if you were born with this kind of passion or if you can learn it, but I do know you need it. If you love your work, you'll be there every day trying to do it best that you possibly can. And pretty soon, everyone around you will catch the passion from you like a fever.
I love this one because it is absolutely something we've talked about outside of the Walmart story. This reminded me of when we did Founders U and Jason Calacanis. He made a comment once, and I think it might have been a bit of an innocuous comment, but for some reason I pinpointed it out of everything. He said that when people are pitching their decks or pitching their business ideas, he can tell within 10 seconds if you're truly passionate about it. People are able to pick up on passion, and I think people underestimate passion. Passion isn't everything. You can't build a business off of pure passion, but it can really carry you far. And I think it can carry you further than a lot of people might take a business if you are truly in it every single day and just believe and are passionate in it. I love that about it.
Through his story, as an entrepreneur, you get his complete love and devotion to retailing and merchandising. There's so many stories in the book where he just went into literally every store he possibly could and studied it and studied it. He talked about at the end of the book how in his 52 years, I believe it was, of running Walmart and running the stores and through all of its different variations, that he didn't at one time think about merchandising. That's how committed he was to it. And like you said, you see this with different founders, and it's resonated through this book where there was a lot of people who got into it because discounting was the thing to do. But in the book, it talks about how 76 of the 100 most or at the top of the discounting chain is not in existence at the time in 1992 when he wrote this. So over three quarters of the competition just faded away because they didn't have that sheer level of commitment. They were just getting into something that was neat and where they think they could make a buck. But because they weren't so devoted to it, because they weren't so serious about it, they had fatal missteps in so many cases. So we see that all the time in the startup community, right? There's some new technology. Let's take AI right now, and everyone's just jumping on a bandwagon, but they're not really solving a problem that they're passionate about. They're like, oh, I can do X and maybe I'll get Y amount of users. Compared to so many of the founders we've talked about, they maybe have pivoted into using certain technologies, but it's of an underlying like mission and purpose for what they're actually passionate about and that they're in it for the long run.
Yeah, I think it takes a truly unique individual to build a successful business and company off of something they're not passionate about, something that they've identified. And you'll read this on any entrepreneur's blog or work from home blog or YouTube channel. It's about how to find new niches and using Google Trends to find out what's hot. And do you remember how many people started selling fidget spinners like 3 years ago?
Yeah.
Do you honestly think they were passionate about fidget spinners? No, they saw a niche. They saw that there was a market suddenly, and they sold. And then what cracked me, okay, this is not probably very nice, but I did get a chuckle out of it. All of the stores, the second that trend died of fidget spinners, when the elementary kids stopped caring, there were boxes and boxes and shelves of leftover fidget spinners because it was such a trend. This is something that I've tried to adopt in my professional attire. It was something I heard maybe in a movie once. It said, style is forever, but fashion's temporary. And I
Mhm.
always think of that. I'm not a fashion forward person when I dress, but I do like style. And I think it's the exact same thing with business. Is you can follow trends. You can go on Google Trends right now, and you'll find something that you might be able to throw something together, especially with AI, and sell and make a few bucks. You might even become pretty successful off of it. But trends die, and I love the concept of you find something that is just in your bones, and you think about it so much. It really makes change.
And we see this, there's so many, like you're talking about, there's these get rich quick schemes. You can be drop shipping and you can be doing this, or one of the most desired things to be is like an influencer or social media personality. And no one's going to care about what you're saying if you don't care about it, nor are you going to enjoy making videos or content about those things in the long run. One reason we love this podcast so much is because we're obsessed with the topics that we talk about. I'm reading books about it, just saying we have to make content because we get so inspired.
Hmm.
And so that's really such a good point, that you need to commit completely to what you're doing. And then through your passion, it's going to leech onto other people. And then
Hmm.
that's how it's going to grow off of it, right?
Absolutely.